Hello and welcome to the show. Today we are at the 41st Bangkok International Motor Show, here to check out some of the latest and greatest models coming both this year and into the next. So why don't we head inside and let's go and check them all out. Here we are at the MG stand, where their sign and their tagline does imply the passion drive. Since 1924 there isn't anything particularly passionate about driving one of these. Unfortunately they are a little bit boring, but they are very functional. Probably the most notable thing on this stand is this thing here, which is the MG Extender. It's the new pickup designed to compete with the likes of the Hilux and the Ranger and the Triton. And so let's just see how this compares. I actually think it looks quite cool. Definitely looks rugged. Be interesting to get it out on the road. Maybe for the next review. So Porsche have got a much more interesting stand over here, and especially with this. Now, it looks like just a bedsheet, but underneath the bedsheet is the brand new Taycan Turbo, which is not actually a turbo at all. What it is two electric motors, one on the front axles, one on the rear axles. And as you know, in true Porsche fashion, it's going to be quick. So, 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, onto a top speed of 260 kilometers an hour. The thing gets up and moves, and it is a brilliant, brilliant car. Hey, check it out, they took the covers off. Not a bad view. The car, I mean. Now this is a cool piece. This is the Boxster 718 GTS, which you can tell from a whole bunch of things, from the wheels to the body kit, to the fact that it also does 0 to 100 in like 4.3 seconds onto a top speed of 290 kilometers an hour from its 2.5 turbocharged engine. And in the inside, for the interior, they've made some really nice changes. Obviously the nice sport seats, but it's just black and sports Alcantara everywhere, from the steering wheel to parts of the seats to the door trims. It's a really, really cool, very sporty place to be for a car that's traditionally not been overly sporty outside of the S models. I do like the new series of Boxster. It's a lot bigger car than it used to be, especially inside. Like, I'm almost 6 foot, and it's quite a roomy place to be, obviously for 2 people. And I realize at the moment from where you're shooting, the light's probably reflecting off my head. But when the roof is closed, I've still even got a little bit more headroom than normal, which I didn't expect. You know, I do love the color of this car. Like, it's not often, when you think of Porsches now, especially the modern cars, you're thinking whites and greys and silvers and blacks, and when you see something like that, it brings a whole bunch of more spirited drive to it, doesn't it? It almost makes you think about the Porsches of yesteryear, where there were reds and greens and bronzes and oranges, and something that really excites you now, long before they all became a bit boring. Tell you what, if you don't want something boring, get yourself one of these. This is the new Jaguar I-Pace all-electric SUV. It's all-wheel drive. It's got near enough that makes no difference. 400 horsepower, 696 newton-meters of torque. It gets up and boogies, but does it in an environmentally friendly way. Really quick, really fast. And look at the colors on it. This was actually designed by a local designer here in Thailand, Pom Chan, who is an artistic floral designer, and they've really brought out something on this car, so you will not see this anywhere else. This is, of course, a standard version of the car, and in this all-wheel drive, electric motors, will do as much as 446 kilometers on a full charge, which is pretty impressive. Excellent design in the interior of this car. Very minimalistic, very functional. We're going to see a common theme with a lot of these newer cars, where they've got this big open LED in the front display for all of your instrument cluster, and then you've got, through all of your infotainment controls, another big screen. Very, very Mercedes in terms of their design, but they have kept some of the more traditional Jag features. Like, they've got the turn dial for your climate control air, and a couple of other infotainment type related controls. And this one in particular does not have a sunroof, which is nice, because you get that little bit more headroom, Decent amount of headroom and legroom and space in the back here too. You'll easily fit 3 people across. Very, very small rear window though. I don't know what that does for rear visibility, but the car's got cameras pretty much all over it, so you can see back, sides, front, and everything in between. And even in the back here, you've got charging points, you've got, looks like heated seats, so you could probably never need them here in Thailand. Nice Meridian stereo system in the I-Pace. And I mean, this car was really designed to compete with the GLC Mercedes and the BMW X3s, and I actually think it does a bang-up job at being a really good competitor. Available in Thailand, jaguar.co.th, retail price at 5.699 million baht. Now these are a bit special. This is the new Land Rover Defender, traditionally a very utilitarian car, which is now a lot more suburban. So you're probably going to take this far less off-road and far more to throw the kids in the back and take them around to school. The Defender in this, guys, is a 5-door, which means it's the 110 model in a 2-litre turbo diesel, now pushing out 240 horsepower. It's a bit of a powerhouse, but I do love the design of this. It's still stayed very true to the original Defender formula, but it almost feels like the modern take on it. And quite cool in the actual design of it. It kind of just stops here, which very reminiscent to the original, very boxy, almost metal cut shape of the old one. Definitely nothing utilitarian about this. On the interior is very fresh, absolutely nothing to compare it to from previous models. And check out the features. Electric memory seats with 3 settings for both passengers, very minimalistic design inside, nice soft touch materials all over the dash, the doors, beautifully designed inside, and screens everywhere. Again, the electronic instrument cluster, all of your infotainment, your rear cameras and side cameras from the rear vision mirror. Now, because of its squarer design, it's probably got one of the more roomy interiors of any of the really high-end SUVs. So plenty of headroom and legroom, a lot of niceties for the back passengers too. So you've got plenty of charging points, and obviously all your air controls in the center here. And look, 5-volt charging in the seat back. That's cool. True Defender style, it is still an off-road car, so it has the full-size spare attached to the rear door. And as per previous models, you do have the side opening door with a reasonable amount of boot space still in it, plenty of storage, and you can still raise and lower the back seats from the rear. Now, when we said high-end SUVs, we do mean it at a price point, because this, as you see it here on the floor, it does have a couple of options on it. This is the Expedition Pack, which has got things like the roof racks, and it's got the extra grille bits over the front here, and it's got the extra storage on the side of the car. So as you see it on the floor, at 5.8 million baht starting point for the 5-door, a little bit less for the 90, and 3-door is 5.4 million, available in Thailand right now from Land Rover. Over here on the Subaru stand, now while it's not normally a brand we would usually feature on this channel, I just wanted to talk a bit about it because they actually have some very exciting cars. See, the thing is, with cars like the XV and the Forester, these are the sort of cars that are really designed for Thailand. So it's a shame that the brand doesn't get as much brand recognition as it should. You know, the XV starts from just 950,000, the Forester starts from just 1.1, and you're talking about cars, symmetrical all-wheel drive, good ride height, very safe, very economical. They're brilliant cars, Japanese build quality, they're fantastic, and they really should get more recognition. So I implore you, if you are in the market for something in the sub 1.5 million category, passenger vehicle, small to medium SUVs, come and check out the Subarus, because they're actually a very well built car. Take this one for example. This is the Forester. It is a mid-size SUV, competitor with things like the Nissan X-Trail or the Honda CR-V, but at the top end, this is the new GT model. It's got the nice sport body kit, the bigger wheels, it's symmetrical all-wheel drive, it does 7.6 litres per 100k, so very economical, and it just looks cool. Like, take a look at it. Take the interior as well. Very nicely designed, I mean, easily comparable with any of the other cars in this range. Very comfortable, very spacious. It's just a nice place to be. Another reason to come and check this car out, have a look at some of the pricing promotions they've got on at the moment. 0.99% interest for 5 years and absolutely no payments to make until 2021. Take the car now, don't start paying for it until next year. How cool is that? Now, Subaru aren't coming to the show this year with any particular new models, more than a couple of little updates here and there, but save for this, which is the WRX STI. It's not a new car, it's been around for a few years, but look out for one of these coming up in a road test, because here in Thailand, there's not enough visibility of this car. It has traditionally been a little expensive. It's now been reduced to just 2.79 million. And with that, you are getting one of the fastest cars that you can buy for under 3 million baht. This one, 300 horsepower, 460 newton meters of torque from its 2.5 litre turbocharged all-wheel drive. And it's quick, it gets up and moves. Just how quick, we're going to show you in an upcoming drive test. So we're here at Volvo, and as you will see, every single car here is on a charging station, which means that they are all hybrids. They're all going to be twin engine, with the exception of a couple of diesels, but for the most part, you can see how the European manufacturers are going. They're going into the electric hybrid direction. We've got some fantastic models here with the XC60. This is the hybrid, this is the twin engine. It is the R design, so it looks amazing. A couple of other examples here with the S90. We've got the S60 back there. You can see the Volvo's really trying hard to push into the electric direction, and so great example. Now, whoever thought Volvo was understated, this is definitely not understated. This is the new Volvo XC60 SUV, Polestar engineered. Now, if you're not sure what Polestar is, they are basically, Polestar is to Volvo what AMG is to Mercedes. They are the performance development arm, and they've really gone to town with the X60 with everything from performance suspension. They've got much bigger brakes, larger calipers, cross-drilled rotors, you've got bigger wheels, you've got sports aerodynamic body kit. The interior's got some really nice interesting materials as well to make it distinguished from the standard car. Very, very exciting car this thing is going to be, and this is on sale for 4.39 million baht here in Thailand. Now, Volvo is never ever going to disappoint on its interior design. It is finished amazingly, as are all of the Volvos right now. I think their interior, as far as the European makes, is up there with the best. Very, very nicely placed. Everything looks fantastic, and I really can't wait to get this thing out on the road. Now, you're not long going to get forgotten driving around in one of these, are you? This is the Lamborghini Urus SUV. It's their not first but second SUV, but it's their proper modern take on a Lamborghini SUV. Now, it does share a lot of its underpinnings with its Volkswagen cousins, being the Audi and the Porsche Cayenne, including its 4-litre twin-turbo V8, which, although very heavily revamped, has also been used in the Porsche Cayenne and has also been used in the Bentley Continental. Now, it's not to say that the V8 twin-turbo in this car is a bad thing. It has 641 brake horsepower, 850 Newton-meters of torque, which is immense, and it will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 3.6 seconds and onto a top speed of 305, making it one of the fastest production SUVs in the world. Definitely one of the more interesting SUVs here is at Audi with the new Q8. Now, the Q8's been out for a little while, but I thought we'd feature it just because A, it's here, and B, it's in this awesome blue color. Now, this car has got a 3-litre V6, which is a hybrid, good for 340 horsepower, 500 Newton-meters of torque. Obviously, it's based very similar to the Porsche Cayenne coupe chassis. It's got the coupe shape, which means it's styled a little bit more chic. Now, this car, as you see it, on road, 6.8 million. Seems like a lot, but when you compare it to something like the Cayenne Coupe, upon which it shares a lot of the same detail and a lot of the same design features and is really built on the same sort of platform, it's a bargain. Now, being a modern Audi, it's not going to be short on features either. Now, this is the S line, so it gets the trim upgrades. This particular one has got the nice sports cross-drilled, cross-stitched seats. As you can see with the layout in the interior, it's an electronic dash, it's electronic and full computerized infotainment system, and all of the climate controls. It's very, very modern in terms of its design. But then, I mean, all new Audis are. I think what separates the Q8 from a lot of the other cars is just, it doesn't feel like a big car. Like when you drive a Q7, you kind of feel like you're driving a big boat, whereas this, it feels a lot more tighter and sporty. It's still a reasonable sized car, still lots of room in the back. It will comfortably transport 4 people. 5 might be a bit of a stretch. But you know, one of the common things with a lot of these new SUV coupe style cars is that rear visibility is quite significantly compromised. Like looking behind me, that rear window, I can't see nothing. So you are heavily reliant on cameras. And wow, that is a lot of noise out there, huh? Now, this does look a lot like the Lamborghini Urus, doesn't it? Funny that, but it's not a bad thing. And if we open it up, it's actually a very roomy boot, which is great because chances are if you're buying one of these cars, you're not buying it just for yourself. You'll probably be putting a fair bit of stuff in the back here. So you've got about 560 litres to play with. Now, for something a little bit more exciting, here's the new Audi TT-RS. Now, this is based on the new TT platform. It keeps the same 5-cylinder, 2.5-litre turbocharged engine, but it has been quite revamped. The engine now does 400 horsepower and will project the car from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 3.7 seconds. Now, this car is available here in Thailand for 5.3 million baht. Now, I've got to say with the TT-RS, because I used to drive the old TT-RS, and it looks a little bit sedate compared to the old one. The old one was big and angry and growly, and whereas this one, it looks a little bit more sort of modern and a little bit more clean lines. But I'll tell you, some of the dead giveaways, the much bigger wheels than you'd normally find on one of these cars. They look fantastic. In this orange color, it looks amazing, let's face it. And it does have some body additions. It's got little black trims on the sides. It's got the black rear diffuser. It's got the spoiler. Clearly, there's a lot of interest in it because everybody seems to be looking at it. But even on the interior, if we come and have a look in here, come over here. A much more refined space. So the old TT-RS was really rough and rugged. It was based essentially on the old A3 platform, so there wasn't a lot you could do, whereas this was the first car from Audi to actually introduce the electronic instrument cluster where your gauges are. So it's got a lot of its newer tech from Audi and from the Volkswagen Group built into this car. Now, there was no way I was coming to this motor show without getting a look at this. This is the Nissan GTR 50th Anniversary Edition. Now, the GTR on its own is an icon, and this is really paying homage to everything that brought it to where the GTR nameplate is now. Even in the color is very much just like the previous R34. It's got the black wheels, it's got the upgraded brakes, it's got the different trim. The interior is a lot more luxurious than the original car too, with beautiful cross-stitch leather right through. Unfortunately, I can't take you into it now. They've kept it locked because obviously they don't want anybody sitting in it. I have a feeling this one's probably sold too because there isn't too many of them around. This one, sticker price, 13.5 million baht. It seems like a lot, and it is, but when you compare the performance of this, the 3.8 litre twin turbocharged engine, this thing's doing 0 to 100 in sub 3 seconds. This thing is significantly faster than most of the performance cars that you'll find on the market today. Continues to be. Even though it's been around for going on 10 years, like it's been around for a long time, but it is such an amazing machine. Really, it doesn't need any more than an introduction than that. So I'm here on the BMW stand, and ordinarily I'd be quite excited, but there's really not a lot to get too excited about this year, which is unfortunate, but I thought I would just put a little bit of a spotlight onto this. This is the BMW 2 Series, the 218 in the Grand Coupe. Now the Grand Coupe has really been brought out by BMW to compete with things like the Mercedes CLA class and to the Audi A3 and the sedan. It looks nice, it looks really good. It's a 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, it's got 140 horsepower. It's not the sort of car that's gonna get you super excited. It's not an M2, but it looks really good. And one of the highlights about this car is, especially if you're living here in Thailand, it's a little bit narrower than a 3 Series, it's a little bit shorter than a 3 Series, still quite comfortable, especially for 2 people, a little bit limited in terms of room in the back, which I'll show you in a second. But look at the front, it looks sporty enough, and the color is great. If you want something to stand out amongst the sea of grey, white and silver, this is it. So this might be a budget car for the BMW range, but it certainly doesn't feel like it on the inside. I mean, you've got the electronic instrument cluster, the steering wheel feels really nice, everything is really nicely finished, it's very minimalist as per a lot of the newer cars are. It runs the most recent edition of the BMW iDrive system, which works incredibly well. The iDrive system has come a long way in recent years. It looks like a really nice car. How it's going to perform on the road, we'll find out soon enough. I'm actually very surprised with this. You know, for a car that looks like this, featured as well inside, obviously we've got to get it on the road and try it out, but I tell you what, at 2.4 million baht, this is very, very good buying. And at the moment they're running this promotion at BMW, you get the BSI BMW service package for 6 years, and they're doing finance payments for 21,000 a month. Like, that's awesome. A car that's getting a lot of attention here on the BMW stand, as you can imagine, is this, the new BMW M8 Competition. It is the latest M car from BMW. Obviously it looks the part, as you can tell. Let's see if it goes the part. We're yet to see some really good driving reviews for it. I think this is going to be a real competitor to the Bentley Continental GT and similar cars at that price point. So it is going to be up in the high end. Still, have a look at it. Possibly 2 of the most impressive cars of this entire show being the Aston Martin DBX new SUV behind me here, and over to the right of me is the DBS Superleggera. Can't go anywhere near it, unfortunately, because it is sold, unsurprisingly. But the DBX is getting a lot of media attention, as you can probably tell. It's Aston Martin's first real go at a proper SUV, and it is a proper sports SUV. Now, we've already had a look at the Maserati Levante Trofeo on this channel, and this is one of the direct competitors, along with the Lamborghini Urus and the Porsche Cayenne Coupe. Be interesting to see how this performs. I know earlier versions of this car have presented very well. I know there's been a lot of online reviews out there, but now we see that the final version is nearing. Be interesting to really get this out on the road and see how it performs. But it looks every bit like an Aston Martin. You know, a lot of the design elements have come from the Vantage and from the DBS and from the DB11. So one of the things that Aston Martin has been very cautious with the SUV is not detracting from what makes it an Aston Martin, and I think that looks amazing. So look forward to seeing that, hopefully, in a drive test coming up in the coming months. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I gotta be honest, this has been quite a successful motor show. I didn't really expect there to be so much here. I think there's been some great new models that have been introduced. Some of the old favorites are still here. And if you're interested in coming to the show, there are some crazy good promotions on at the moment. So if you're in the market for a new car, get down here. It's on between the 15th and the 26th of July at Impact Stadium in Nonthaburi at Mongtongtani. Head on down, grab your tickets. We're going to leave a link in the description below so you can grab your tickets there. So head down here if you're in the market for a new car. There is some great stuff on display. Hey, tell me, what was your favorite car? Leave a comment below. I'm going to hit up the manufacturer to actually see if we can do a driving test on that particular car. So whichever car gets the most amount of votes, leave your comments below and we'll do some kind of crazy test with it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Brett Andrew Simmons and I will see you next time on Car Society TV.